considered a public community meeting. This meeting is an in-person meeting held at 870 Colfax here in Benton Harbor. In addition, a live stream of this meeting is available at the following link. Questions may be submitted beforehand to alia.ruiz@bhas.org or presented in person during the public comment section as indicated in the agenda. Board members may be contacted through the emails listed below. Requests for special assistance, including for persons with disabilities, may be sent to alia.ruiz@bhas.org. I call this meeting to order officially at 6:07 p.m. We'll begin by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Secretary Triplett, can you please call the roll?
President Robinson,
Present.
Vice President Bowens, Secretary Triplett present, Treasurer Gavin,
Present.
Trustee Rocket Martin, Trustee Bradley,
Present.
Trustee Doyle. Madam President, a quorum has been established.
All right, up next, we have approval of the agenda. I would like to notate that there is a closed session that has been added right at the top of board business. So at this time, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda as is.
Is there a second or support?
I support.
You have a question?
Yeah.
Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? You have the floor.
Yes, question of, human resources, item C for central office, we're retabling that because of the transition.
Okay, Director Barcardi, can you provide the clarification to me to the board that you just provided to me?
Sure, the Director of Human Resources instructed me that because the district made, the offer to the person pending board approval, that the board will have to, vote down
The board essentially would have to take a vote in order for it to be.
for it to be a resolved issue. It is still pending until the board votes on the issue.
All right, any other questions or concerns? Hearing none, Secretary Triplett?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett,
Point of clarity.
Yes.
Are we voting on tabling? Or are we voting on, because I thought he.
So we have to
table it. And
We have to actually take an action to officially acknowledge the withdrawal of it, is what Barcardo was clarifying.
Did Trustee Bradley withdraw his table? That's where I'm confused.
Bradley didn't put a table on the
I
floor.
thought he asked to table it.
I can withdraw, I didn't want, normally, I was asking if we could table it, but I can. withdraw
Oh,
it.
okay. Any other questions?
So what did he
He
say?
said he's withdrawing the table.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Hearing none, Secretary Triplett?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, up next, we have the review of our Board of Education norms. Miss, can you click that link for me? I don't have. Thank you so much. The Board of Education norms for Benton Harbor area schools. We will treat each other with respect. We will listen to learn. We will refrain from side conversations. We will use our time wisely, starting and ending our meetings on time. We will challenge ideas, not people. We will ask questions when in doubt. There will be no surprises at the board table. We will practice the 7 norms of collaboration. Those are pausing, paraphrasing, posing questions, putting ideas on the table, providing data, paying attention to self and others, and presuming positive intentions. Up next, we have public comment on agenda items. Is there anyone present that would like to make a public comment on an agenda item? And if you could also pull that document for me as well. The Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on district matters. Today, there are 2 areas for comment on the agenda of which you may decide when to speak. Public comment on agenda items and open public comment. We request that each interested participant complete a public participation form using legible writing to ensure their responses are appropriate and properly focused. Per Benton Harbor Area Schools Bylaw 0167.3, which governs board participation at board meetings, we request that you preface your comments with your name, address, and group affiliation when appropriate. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to a 3-minute duration, and per our bylaws, no participant may speak more than once on the same topic until any other persons have had the opportunity to speak on that topic. Participants may remove their masks when addressing the board. Participants shall direct all comments to the board and not to staff or other participants. The board will listen, take comments and questions under advisement and not respond at this time. I, as president, will refer questions to the superintendent for research and response. Please ensure that your public participation form includes your contact information as requested. If you have specific questions for the board or executive team that require follow-up, you're going to email those directly to aaliyah.ruiz@bhas.org. You have the floor.
Thank you, I appreciate you. Good evening, board members. My name is Tiana Batiste Waddell, 330 Colfax Avenue. This is in regards to the entire board agenda, I guess, because at this point, there have been no board minutes until May 2026. And so I have a simple question regarding the board's process for transparency and accountability. Several weeks ago, I submitted a written demand regarding the district's apparent lack of compliance with the public transparency requirements. To date, I have not received a response. Additionally, the board meeting minutes available to the public have not been updated since May of 2026, leaving the community without access to records documenting the actions of this board. Since then, the district has appointed a new, I don't know what's happening, I don't know what I just heard, but there's supposed to be a new interim superintendent and a new executive secretary possibly. My question is this: what is the board's process for ensuring continuity and compliance with its legal obligations during leadership transitions? Specifically, who is responsible for ensuring that agendas, minutes, and public records are maintained and made available in a timely manner? And when can the public expect these records to be brought up to date? Transparency should not depend on changes in personnel. It is a responsibility of the institution, and I would say the board majority, and the community deserves confidence that this board is doing public business, is being conducted openly, and that the records are accessible as required by law. I appreciate your response, and I look forward to understanding how the board intends to address these concerns. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Anyone else for open public comment?
Yes.
You can pull it out. Wanna hold it.
Marcus Muhammad, 453 Cherry Street, Benton Harbor, Michigan. Benton Harbor Athletics. Just like to give the Board of Education, the president, vice president, and officers, secretary, treasurer, and staff, a just brief, not report, but activity of our Benton Harbor Athletics in terms of our student athletes. Our football varsity team, the first game is August 28th. So we want to formally invite the Board of Education to come out and support our student athletes, and you will be receiving a schedule. We have 5 home games this year and 4 away games. Our first game is against Berrien Springs, and we do plan to honor, because this is the 10th year anniversary of the team that went, I believe, 9-10-0. Coach Uzelak, the Good Morning America, and the whole 9 yards. But honor that team this year at a varsity football game. Our basketball team had a very successful June team camp. They are participating in summer leagues, and then there's a number of student athletes playing amateur athletic union or AAU basketball. One of the other highlights is Coach Erla Reynolds had a very successful 2-day cheer camp where she went all the way down to the 4th grade in extreme hot temperatures. but we use our facilities to help mitigate the heat. But we had about 30 to 35 young women who was excited about cheer. We also added this year for the 2026-2027 varsity competition, boys and girls cross country. So it'll be another sport that our young people can participate in and get leadership skills and learn how to run. And lastly, the Peace Summer League, which Coach Curtis McFall is spearheading, working with President Pillars. As you probably know, it was moved to the Blacktop. It started out, it was supposed to be a hall park, but the students, it's about 6 to 8 teams where they're playing every Monday. And the football team has been practicing using the turf. So just wanted you to know that our young people are participating, they're active, and wanted to share something positive about our number one priority, which is students. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Muhammad. I would like to indicate you are a director. So if you have updates that you'd like to make, you can consult with Interim Superintendent Sanders to see if it's appropriate to place you on the agenda, but I do appreciate you coming before us in public comment. All right, up next, anyone else for public comment on agenda items? Hearing none, we'll proceed. Approval of meeting minutes are up for vote today. They are for the months of June 9th, 2026, June 23rd, 2026, July 2nd, 2026. Please note June 9th was a regular meeting, June 23rd was a work session, July 2nd was a special meeting. So at this time, I'll ask, is there a motion to approve the minutes as noted?
I so move.
Is there a second or support?
Second.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Vice President Bowens. Any questions, comments, and concerns from the board? Hearing none. Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
No.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, reminder protocol as of 9/13/2022, all comments will be limited to 2 minutes per trustee per topic. Our first item of business today under board business is a closed session pertaining to attorney-client privilege communication. This is specifically from True Law Firm. The Board of Education may hold a closed session to consider materials such as written opinions of counsel which are exempt from discussion by state or federal statute, reference policy number 0167.2F. At this time, I'll ask, is there a motion to end open session and enter closed session as noted per policy 0167.2F?
I so move.
Support.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Vice President Bowens. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Before we take the vote, just so the public is aware, we're entering a closed session as noted. That means that we'll step into our room temporarily. I do not anticipate that we will be there long, so you're welcome to stay. If you're tuning in online, you're welcome to pause. And then we'll return back to open session shortly. Secretary Triplett, please call the vote.
President Robinson.
Yes.
Vice President Bowens.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin.
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, so we're ending open session and entering closed session as of 6:21 PM. We will return. All right, at this time, I'll ask, is there a motion to end closed session and return to open session?
I'll make a motion to return to open session at 6:46 PM.
Support. The motion has been made by Trustee Bradley and supported by Vice President Bowens. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, Secretary Triplett?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. So for the record, I want to make sure it's notated that Secretary Triplett was not present in the closed session. We're going to continue with the agenda. Up next, we have, we're returning to open session as of 6:46 PM. Up next on the agenda is the interim superintendent employment contract addendum, resolution B1. Which I'll read. Resolution to approve the interim superintendent employment contract amendment, Benton Harbor Area Schools, Berrien County, Michigan, the district. A regular meeting of the Board of Education of the district. The board was held in Benton Harbor High School Library within the boundaries of the district on the 21st day of July 2026 at 6:00 p.m. The meeting was called to order by Board President Robinson. Present are those reflected at this table. Absent is Trustee Doyle. The following preamble and resolution were offered by, we'll plug that in once the motion is made. Whereas the Board of Education of Benton Harbor Area Schools has received the resignation of Superintendent Dr. Simone Griffin, creating the need to ensure the continued leadership and administration of the district. And whereas the Board of Education has determined that it is in the best interest of the district to appoint an interim superintendent to provide continuity of leadership while the board conducts the process of selecting a permanent superintendent. And whereas the board has selected Keith Sanders to serve as interim superintendent and has negotiated the terms of an interim superintendent employment contract addendum that reflects the mutual understanding and agreement between the Board of Education and Mr. Sanders. And whereas the proposed interim superintendent employment contract amendment has been reviewed by the board and legal counsel, and it is the recommendation of the board president that the board approve the agreement as presented. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of Benton Harbor Area Schools hereby approves the interim superintendent employment contract amendment between the Board of Education and Keith Sanders for the position of interim superintendent. And be it further resolved that the president and secretary of the board are hereby authorized and directed to execute the interim superintendent employment contract amendment on behalf of the board and take all actions necessary to implement the terms of the amendment adopted on this should be the 21st day of July 2026 by the Board of Education for Benton Harbor Area Schools. At this time, I'll ask, is there a motion to approve?
You make a motion to approve the agenda. I mean, the interim superintendent.
Resolution B1.
Yes.
Support.
The motion was made by Vice President Bowens and supported by Trustee Bradley. Questions, comments, and concerns? You have the floor.
I have a concern about this contract. With Mr. Sanders being the interim superintendent, he's also going to be the interim principal of Benton Harbor High School. I came here fully prepared to support the contract for Mr. Sanders being the interim superintendent. I put aside my initial thoughts of who I felt should be in that position, and I feel good about him. My first impression of Mr. Sanders was positive. He's shown, from my view, integrity about being concerned about the students first and foremost. I was fine with that. I have a problem with 2 jobs for one person, 2 full-time jobs for one person. That doesn't work. It's unwise. As a board, we have a responsibility to hire a principal for the high school and to hire a superintendent. And we've seen what it looks like when somebody tries to do both. And I've heard that maybe schools are downsized, school districts are downsizing, but that's not wise for Benton Harbor area schools. Our students need somebody in there, and we need to be using the summertime to fill that spot and for him to get acclimated to the position. So sadly, I'm not able to support this. I wanted to tonight. I really wanted to, but unfortunately, this contract was not made available until a few minutes before the board meeting. And I was unaware of this until very recently. And so I just want Mr. Sanders to know that I do support him as superintendent, interim superintendent. I support him as the principal. I don't support both.
Thank you. Any other comments from the board? Vice President Bowens.
You know, I am ecstatic that we are moving forward with our superintendent, intern superintendent. This gentleman, Mr. Sanders, has a impressive resume. He has actually done the work, and has led school districts, the state of Delaware, bigger than ours. In the time that we are in Benton Harbor area schools, I do support him being the principal and superintendent. If it was up to me, the superintendent and the curriculum director would be combined. So I support it. We look at Burr Oaks, where our former superintendent went to go to. They have a superintendent as the principal. Benton Harbor area schools is not a school district of 5,000 or 6,000. It's 1,000 to 1,200. So I think, he has started some great work. He wants to make sure that work continues at the high school. And I am excited to see he's led the high school back, and I'm excited to see him leading the district back. And Mr. Sanders, if you're watching, welcome home. It's been a long time coming, and I am excited to be working with you and beside you in your leadership.
So I would like to add that in conversations with Mr. Sanders, when I approached to discuss what his thoughts were for an interim principal while he serves as interim superintendent, he specifically expressed the desire to maintain continuity in that position because of the great work that he and his team have started. He has not had an opportunity as a superintendent at this time to solidify who the interim principal would be while he's serving as superintendent. And so this is to give him and Assistant Principal Dr. Struthers, an opportunity to continue to work collaboratively on the great work they've done at Benton Harbor High School. I want to make it clear that this is not a long term. This is not expected to be something that is long term. This is to ensure that the district has leadership in both of those positions, and that he is allowed as superintendent to come in and determine the lay of the land that he has inherited. He is also able to stay there. So there's a two-person front with support to Dr. Struthers. And so he has indicated himself to me that once he's able to get in and determine the gist of everything with both of the positions, that he has no issue at all with pursuing an interim, whether that's a promotion of Dr. Struther or an actual, an internal transition or a posting of the position. That would be his decision as a superintendent. And so I have every faith that he would not continue to tackle something that had become overwhelming for him. Again, this is a temporary double placement. And so I do anticipate that the matter will come back before the board, either if he does not decide to just use his right of assignment to make a transition internally. So I do support the addendum as presented. It is my ask that the board consider Mr. Sanders' desires with this request. If there's no other comments or concerns, I would ask that Secretary Triplett please call the vote for Resolution B1.
President Robinson,
Oh, I'm sorry. I would also like to notate that I do apologize to the board that the addendum was received today. I was able to finalize things between council and Mr. Sanders today, and so I did send it to you all accordingly. It is very similar to addendums that we've had in the past, and the terms are very clear. So I thank you guys for your support of the recommendation. Secretary Triple, please call the vote.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, I recuse myself from this particular item. Treasurer Gavin,
No.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, so congratulations, Mr. Sanders. So I do have a release or statement prepared. Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education approves contract for interim superintendent Keith Sanders. The Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education on Tuesday approved an addendum to Keith Sanders' employment agreement following his appointment as the interim superintendent on July 2nd. Sanders, who currently serves as the principal of the Benton Harbor High School, will officially begin serving in his new role on July 25th, 2026. A proud member of Benton Harbor High School's class of 1990, Sanders has dedicated his career to transforming schools and expanding opportunities for students. With more than 30 years of experience, his background includes serving as a teacher, principal, and chief officer of schools turnaround for the Delaware Department of Education. He also co-founded Louisiana's first all-boys public charter school post-Hurricane Katrina, and has been featured in the acclaimed documentary Waiting for Superman, as well as Paul Bambrick Santoyo's Driven by Data, recognized by the New York Times. Keith Sanders is an accomplished leader with a proven ability to build strong school communities, said Board President Deshauna Robinson. As the current principal of the Benton Harbor High School and a proud alumnus of our district, Keith understands our students, staff, and community. We are confident he will provide the steady leadership our district needs during this transition and look forward to working with him. Sanders expressed his appreciation for the opportunity to serve the district in this new capacity. I am honored to accept the position of interim superintendent, he said. I look forward to working collaboratively with our staff, families, students, and community members to strengthen educational opportunities and support the academic success of our students. Together, we will create an inclusive, innovative educational experience that meets the diverse needs of our community. Benton Harbor Area Schools looks forward to Mr. Sanders' leadership as interim superintendent as the district continues its commitment to providing every student with a high-quality education and preparing them for future success. So again, congratulations, Mr. Sanders. Next, we have the Section 12E School Infrastructure Grants. Director Brock Carter is going to give us a update on that.
Yes, I just wanted to inform the board, if they hadn't heard already, that Benton Harbor Area Schools was awarded $12,300,000 through the Section 12E Infrastructure Grant. It is a state grant through MDE. There were 80 schools in Michigan that are going to benefit from this grant. It was a competitive grant that Ms. Monroe and I worked on. It was one of the first grants that she worked on when she got here, and we worked on it together. So I want to make sure that she is acknowledged for her efforts, because we are very grateful for these funds. And we wrote the grant to upgrade working and HVAC systems in the high school and the middle school. So we look forward to hopefully not only new roofs, but getting air conditioning in our buildings for our students.
All right, Vice President Bowles would like to make a comment.
So that's great news. I just got a quick question. With this grant, it's distinctly for that? Because I was looking at some numbers the other day. Countryside built a new building, campus for about 10 million. I think it was 9 million. That grant, it's distinctly, like, it's not for a building of a new building. It has to be for.
Yes, we referred to is it a feasibility study that was done on all of our buildings, and high school and middle school were the most open buildings. Let me be correct. The study was on buildings, but out of all the buildings, high school and middle school were at the top. The most crucial repairs. So that is the items that we wrote into the grant for the approval.
Well, congratulations and thank you so much.
Well,
Treasurer Gavin.
I wanna thank you both. I'm so happy that we have a grant coordinator now. I hope I'm saying the title right. Is it grant coordinator? Grant writer, yes. I'm so happy that we have a grant writer. Felt like a broken record, but we have one now. And I'm so happy, Director Carter, for your leadership and also helping to make sure we have that. The money is out there, right? And so we just have to make sure that we continue to write the grants and apply for it, because we deserve it. our kids deserve all of it. Do have a question. You know, we've had some conversations around being able to control the temperature in rooms and things of that nature. Does this cover, you know, any of those type of costs, upgrades to being able to address those issues?
Well, we don't have the specific details on what the projects will entail. When we wrote the grant, we wrote it, you know, in general terms, and specifically for roofing and HVAC. So when we, for the next steps, you know, getting bids, getting, engineers to let us know what's needed to complete these projects, will definitely be inquiring if that can be included, because that is a part of the HVAC system. So if the funds that we have available for each building can afford those dials or temperature gauges, we will most definitely be going with a proposal that includes that.
Hey, thank you so much. So excited for us to have an opportunity to provide the peanut butter and the jelly in the sandwich. So, yeah, thank you, and thank you again. And I'll be thanking you all even more publicly for that. And I'm looking forward to more grant writing that looks like that. Yes. Trustee Bradley?
I'm just going to be real quick. Thank you to your team. Even thank you to Dr. Griffin on her way out, transitioning from out the position. Thank you, Ms. LeMay. Thank you. When I saw this in the news, I was excited. I was like, okay, that's what's up. And definitely, infrastructure is one of those things. And I think it's just two in our region. That speaks a lot. When you have Benton Harbor area schools and you have the Wajak public schools in this area getting that. And I think we got maybe like the fourth or fifth highest amount, maybe a little bit somewhere, maybe the top 10 amount. But when I saw that, I was very excited. I look forward to with Mr. Sanders coming in, you all working together, and definitely with our facilities team as well. So thank you.
All right, awesome. Any other comments? Trustee Raquel Martin.
Congratulations. I'd also like to put a little bid out there for the elementary schools. So don't stop writing, so stop looking, okay? Because there are things that they need also for infrastructure. And I would appreciate it too if the next round goes to them, especially Fairplay East.
If it comes around again, we'll definitely be applying again. And this is actually the second year this grant has existed. Last year when we applied to demolish the buildings that we are paying for now, and the application was denied. So this year they asked for you to be more specific and make sure that the repairs are going to help students achieve and increase learning. So that's why we wrote it this way. And I should also say thank you to Dr. Griffin. She was also a vital part when we wrote this grant. So I just want to make sure that I say that publicly as well, to thank Dr. Griffin for her efforts and her support when we wrote this grant.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna move forward with our agenda. So if it's the board's pleasure, I would actually recommend that we table the items under teaching and learning, and then the department update in the absence of Dr. Griffin. That would allow Principal Sanders to provide an update in that area. And then facilities has an update as well, but I'm not exactly sure who was planning to present that. So if there's no objections from the board, I would ask, is there an amendment to table teaching and learning and facilities to the upcoming work session?
I do have a question.
Am
I able to ask a question?
Yes.
So do we have a deadline upon which we have to approve a PD plan?
There's no vote on it.
Okay. Okay, good deal.
And Director Carter, can you provide the clarification that you provided to me when we were coming out of the closed session about why the PD plan is required grant wise?
Yes, According to our partnership agreement, the professional development that we said that we would be doing for our staff, a portion of that was we were gonna have the staff come back. They already come back a week before school starts for our normal back to school PD sessions, but we wanted to do an extra week and give the staff a stipend to come to that. And we put the stipend in a partnership agreement grant. And it was sent back to us for modification, asking for a plan for that week. They just didn't accept us saying we're gonna have PD, we want to pay a stipend. We needed a plan for what was going to happen during that week. So that's how this draft plan came about. And after speaking with Dr. Griffin, she wants to make sure that everything in the plan is what Mr. Sanders wants to do for that week as well. So this was just a draft of some of the things that she wanted to offer during that week. But again, now that she's transitioning, she wants it to be more of a decision for Mr. Sanders. So that's how this after school PD draft plan came about.
Thank you. And I know that the other item under teaching and learning is mid-summer school update, but can you clarify when summer school is over?
Yes, summer school is ending Thursday. So after that, we can do a full summer school update on the entire session, not just a midsummer school update.
Okay, and then Vice President Barnes, I believe you had a question.
Facilities.
You have the floor.
There probably, I think if I drive by today, if you have not checked, Martindale has basically been demolished. And I seen tractors out at Bard, backhoes, so that demolishing is starting.
Thank you for that update. So we can still, there may be further updates that Mr. Sanders would be able to give us. So if the board does not have objections, is there a motion to table teaching and learning and facilities to our upcoming work session meeting Tuesday?
Support.
I make a motion that we table those two sections.
Okay. The motion was made by Bradley and supported by Vice President Bowens. There's no further discussion needed on a table. Secretary Triplett, can you call the vote?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, up next, we have business and finance. I'll pass it over to Director Brock Carter. Before I do, I would like to extend you extreme congratulations
Yes.
on being certified as a CFO by the state. And I just would like to put that on the record so that they know that you are highly qualified in providing us this data today.
Thank you so much, President Robinson. I was so happy Monday when I got to my desk and my certificate was on my desk. So thank you so much. I've been working on it for about 2.5 years. I've been here 3 years, so I'm happy to get that done and continue with the professional development in that role. So thank you so much. Staff report F1, monthly financial reports. I guess I probably should update this date. Everything was dated for last Tuesday. My apologies. So now the date has been updated to today. Reason for board consideration, a set of financial reports is provided to the Board of Education each month. Facts and analysis. This evening, it is recommended that the May 2026 payments be approved for all funds for all of the district funds. Policy reference 6470, payment of claims. Strategic plan reference, facilities/operations. Benton Harbor area schools will develop, implement, and evaluate a fiscally responsible plan that will ensure physical and psychological safety. Recommended action that the Board of Education approve the May 1st through May 31st payments for the following funds. General fund, $600,909.21. Food service fund, $300,559.18. Sinking fund, $251,160. Total of $1,152,628.39.
All right, so at this time, I'll ask, is there a motion to approve staff report F1?
I make a motion to approve staff report F1.
Is there a second or support?
Support.
The motion was made by trustee Bradley and supported by Secretary Triplett. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, Secretary Triplett?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
motion carried.
Up next, we have the food service contract renewal, Director Bob Carter.
Yes, staff report F2, food service management company contract extension. Reason for board consideration, the district annual contract with Terra Incorporated expires on June 30th, 2026. Facts and analysis to comply with Michigan Department of Education requirements. School districts with food service management company agreements are required to submit the proposed contract renewal forms to MDE for review and approval before the renewal contract can be signed by the district. MDE received the district's request for renewing the food service management company contract with Terra Incorporated for 26-27 school year and has approved the following. The current management fee of about 9 cents per meal will increase by 3.5% to the new management fee of about 9.82 cents per meal. Current administrative fee of $2,474.40 per month will increase by 3.5% to the new administrative fee of $2,561 per month. There is no advance payment. There are no guarantees for the 26-27 school year. There is no client investment plan for 26-27 school year. Policy reference 8500, food services. Strategic plan reference, facilities/operations. Ben Harbor area schools will develop, implement, and evaluate a physically responsible plan that will ensure physical and psychological safety. Recommended action that the Board of Education votes to approve a 1-year renewal for Terra Incorporated food service contract from July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027 as presented.
Is there a motion to approve staff report F2?
I make a motion to approve staff report F2.
I second the motion.
The motion has been made by trustee Bradley and supported by trustee Rocket Martin. Any questions, comments, or concerns? You have the floor.
I have a question. Do we have any feedback from the surveys that were taken regarding the company?
No, not at this time. I would have to check with Dr. Griffin or the food service director has changed as well. So I will have to check with Terra's headquarters to see if we have access to the information.
Yeah, I guess my comment is that whenever we're up for a renewal of a contract, especially one where it's servicing the students on a regular basis, I think that survey feedback would be super helpful in informing us as to whether we should renew a contract such as this. I would also say that, just thinking outside of the box, and I know it's a decision for the superintendent, but thinking outside of the box, we do have a hospitality management class. I think it would be great if they could put together some type of, advisory committee that could help give us these type of recommendations, because I'm not eating the food every day, and I feel, kind of unfair making a decision without any, information about their input and what their experience is. I will support it because, you know, we don't have an alternative right now. We do need to move forward. But in the future, I would love for us to have some type of calendar timeline where we are receiving, we should be receiving the feedback, not just to hear. We should be receiving, as a customer, we should be paying customer, we should be receiving that feedback. And that should inform our decisions. And I would love for the students and other folks who are connecting with them daily to have input in our decision.
And I know Dr. Griffin did have the information and she did include that information during the contract negotiations. I wasn't privy to all of those conversations, but she did have the feedback and brought some of the concerns from the students and staff to TARE during the contract negotiation period.
Would you, what was the feedback?
I wasn't privy to all of the conversations, so I don't have a lot of the details. But I know some of the concerns from the staff were, a plan was put in place to make sure that those concerns be addressed. So that part I am aware of because Tara also shared the plan with me that they have for the staff, but I don't know what the feedback was from the students.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there any additional questions or concerns? Therefore, being no questions, Secretary, you call for the vote.
Can't hear.
Can't hear you.
Is there any further questions or concerns?
No.
Therefore, being none, Secretary Triplett can call for the vote.
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
President Robinson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
We are now to staff report F3.
Staff report F3 is our pupil transportation contract extension. Reason for board consideration, the 25-26 contract with First Student for pupil transportation expired on June 30th, 2026. Facts and analysis. This evening, it is recommended that the board approve the extension to the pupil transportation services contract with First Student Incorporated through June 30th, 2027. There's no policy reference or strategic goal reference. Recommended action that the Board of Education approve as presented the attached extension to the pupil transportation services contract with First Student Incorporated through June 30th, 2027.
Thank you, Director Carter. Is there anything that you would like to highlight about this extension?
We definitely have concerns to First Student regarding the routes, the additional routes that we may have for this school year with our CTE students going to other buildings. And they are working on a plan, a cost reduction route plan that they plan to present to us. And we also brought up some concerns regarding the lease that they have for a building that hasn't increased over years. So to compensate for that, there were we did negotiate some lower fees when it comes to the management fees that they charge, and also reducing the number of routes that we have. And we are looking forward to seeing the plan once they put it together.
You have the floor.
So out of curiosity, how many routes do we have now and how many routes are you guys proposing to cut?
Just a second. There's actually a route savings plan put together by First Student. It's actually entire PowerPoint presentation. Let me see if that, just the number of routes is highlighted on here. It looks like, no, that's the number of students per bus was going to increase from 40 to 48. And it's just, it says 25, 26 Ben Harbor area schools, which average 46 students per route. Time students are on the route is 31 minutes. For 26, 27, this is just Ben Harbor High School will go down to 7 routes. So they separated it by building. I can share this PowerPoint with you so you can have the details.
Thank you.
Because it's by building, it's not just the whole thing.
Okay, does anybody have any additional questions?
Yeah, I'm just glad that these kind of conversations are being held. I think they're very critical because the routes haven't changed, the amounts haven't changed, even and the student numbers have not gone up. And so how do you justify what we've been paying? How do you look at it, like critically look at it and say, if we have lost students, and are they really looking at, are we inspecting as a district what we expect? And so when we talk about having to do cuts and what have you, which I know there are some areas that we're going to have to do some things in, but we need to honestly and seriously look at these contracted services along the way. And like you said, the relationship, the use of our facility, you know, they are using our garage, I know down through the years, one of the previous superintendents basically sold our entire fleet of buses, basically. And so there's that was all of this under the guise of we're trying to cut this $18 million deficit, which ended up being 12 million to 13 million. But anyhow, whatever it was, but our whole fleet was sold. And so I know that we're indebted, but I think that we need to have some very serious conversations about that. And I'm glad to hear that those conversations have started. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any additional questions? Or comments? Chair for being Secretary Triplett, can you call the vote for staff report F3?
Vice President Bowens.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin.
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you so much. We are now in our section, as we tabled it, so we're at Human Resources, Staff Report H1, and we're so excited to have Miss McFall, 2004 graduate. I was a freshman when she was graduating. So we're not going to be too hard on her today.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
All right. Good evening.
You-
Staff report H1, separation of employment. Reason for board consideration. A list of employees whose employment relationship with the district is or will be separated is submitted to the board each month. Facts and analysis. It is recommended that the Board of Education vote to accept the separation of employment of the following staff. Policy reference 3140, 4140, termination and resignation of professional and support staff. Strategic plan goal reference, personnel leadership. Benton Harbor area schools will recruit, hire, develop, and retain the best staff to improve student outcomes.
Dan Ho, certified teacher, sped, resignation, effective date 6/3. Building, Benton Harbor High School, date of hire 8/19/2024. Date exit interview sent 6/17/2026. Exit interview was not completed. Denise Santos Gooden, teacher induction facilitator, resignation 6/30. Building central office, date of hire 1/9/2023. Date exit interview was sent 7/7/2026. Exit interview was not completed. Darnell Johnson Senior, hashtag teach teacher, retirement 6/30. Building Fairplain Middle School, date of hire 8/27/2019. Date exit interview sent 7/9/2026. Exit interview was completed and you all have it in your binders. Danny Jennings, Director of CAPE, resignation. Effective date 8/14. Building CAPE, date of hire 8/19/2022. Date exit interview was sent 7/20/2026. The exit interview was completed and it is in your binder.
Thank you. I do apologize to my colleagues. It was supposed to be a motion on the floor for staff report H1.
I make a motion that we take a vote on staff report H1.
Support.
Motion has been made by Steve Bradley, second by Secretary Triplett. Is there any questions or comments regarding this report?
I do have a question. How soon after these resignations are submitted, are we able to post the positions?
Pretty soon after, the Director of CAPE position will be up by tomorrow. And the certified sped teacher position is up already and, Director Dorsey can get back with you about the teacher induction position and hashtag teach positions.
Okay, that's what I was also wondering, these hashtag teacher positions, is this program still active?
It is.
It is active, okay. Okay, thank you.
It-
Oh, and I want to thank everybody here for their service.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any additional questions or comments? Trustee Bradley?
I was just taking a look at the list and see some names on here familiar. Hate to see that they are separating from our district. And I wish them best on their future endeavors. I was glancing over some of the exit interviews and I had some concerns. But I mean, that's to be understood, but there's some serious concerns when you look over these exit interviews and some things that were said. But I will pass it back on to you.
I do have a question, with the Director of CAPE. That position, say for example, the new superintendent wanted to bring that to the board. That instead of it being a director, he wanted it to make it a coordinator or something of that nature. That job has now been posted, but he has not had any say so on it.
That is really a question for Director Dorsey Smith.
Sorry, I apologize.
That's all right.
Yes, and I second my colleague, Trustee Bradley's comment on the exit surveys. It's very alarming, and it was very concerning to read some of those, so thank you. Is there,
I would just like to say that I'm grateful. I think it's very, very critical, and I've said this down through the years. I think it's very, very critical that we do have exit interviews. It doesn't matter whether the exit interview is in favor of whoever in charge or in favor of the district. And even if those things that are that might not be so favorable, we still need to know, because that information, even if it's about me, even if it's about the Board of Education, and they say they exit, they're leaving the district because they don't like the way the Board of Education do business. Woo, woo, woo. We still need to know. And I think that people should be able to say whatever it is, because that's the only way that you'll get better, if you know these things. And so I would encourage the Human Resource Department to really, really push in whatever way that you can to get us this information, because that is very, very critical. We need to know. But thank you so much. I'm just happy to see these in the binders. And we just don't want to exit interviews when things are negative. You know, it seems like if somebody have a personal vendetta, not to disregard what people, this is the way they feel, but if somebody have a personal vendetta, it seems like it's very easy for you all to get that information. But when somebody just has a general practice to say, if they have something good to say, I'm relocating, I'm moving. I have found a good job, I found another job, and I'm leaving because of the pay rate or whatever. But that's very, very important. So I would, if you all can make that a number one priority, we need to know. It's only going to help us become better and to improve.
All right. Recommended action that the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education votes to accept the resignation of employment of the aforementioned staff.
All right, so we, you all, thank you for, Vice President, for keeping us moving forward. To my understanding, we are on staff report H1, separation of employment. Okay, the motion has been made and supported. Questions, comments, concerns have been had. At this time, I'll ask if Secretary Triplett can please call the vote for staff report H1.
President Robinson,
No.
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, up next, we have staff report H2 concerning new hires. You can proceed, Ms. McFall.
All right. Staff report H2, employment of staff. Submitting for board consideration to approve employment of staff in accordance with the revised school code and other general laws of Michigan. Facts and analysis. It is recommended that the board approve the superintendent's recommendation for the hire of the following personnel. Policy reference 3120, 4120. Employment of professional and support staff. Strategic plan goal reference. Personnel leadership. Benton Harbor Area Schools will recruit, hire, develop, and retain the best staff to improve student outcomes. Juan Alvarez Harkin, certified Spanish teacher, Fair Plain Middle School, general funds, effective 8/14/2026. Gwendolyn Tynes, grow your own special education teacher, Benton Harbor High School, general funds, effective 8/14/2026. William Schmidt, certified art teacher, Benton Harbor High School, general funds, effective 8/14/2026. Recommended action, the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education votes to approve the employment of the aforementioned staff.
All right, is there a motion to approve staff report H2?
I make a motion to approve staff report H2.
Support.
The motion has been made by Trustee Bradley and supported by Vice President Bowens. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Madam President,
You have the floor.
I am just so happy to see certified Spanish teacher, to see that teacher being in the middle school. And so it leads up to the high school. And so it's just, it's really a blessing to see that this type of work is being taken care of. And also a certified art teacher in Harbor High School, and Gwendolyn Miss Time being added to special education department. So this right here is this is a good thing. So I really appreciate that. Very proud of it.
All right, Vice President Bowens.
I second your sentiments, Secretary Triplett. You know, in my line of work, I have a lot of Hispanic families that I assist with. Mr. Damus was my Spanish teacher at McCord Renaissance. And I don't remember a lot, but I do remember Ola, Como Esther, and I use those words a lot, and my clients are like, "Do you speak Spanish?" And I'm like, no, but they understand what I'm saying. So our blocks in our community is evolving, and we're having more and more Hispanic populations moving in. So this is a great start where our children will be able to have conversations with them. So it's gonna be very interesting. So that's my comment.
All right, any other comments or questions from the board?
President Robinson.
You have the floor.
Good to see that we have a certified Spanish teacher and a certified art teacher. And I'm happy to see Master Tynes as a part of our Grow Your Own special education teacher as well. Turn it back over to you.
Thank you. If there's no other questions or comments, Secretary Triplett, can you call the vote?
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Barnes,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes, Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, so I would like to say welcome to each of the staff and congratulations on your hire as noted. So now we are at staff report H3, and I know you guys noticed I was making calls and moving back and forth because my mind was processing what it was that you all were asking me regarding staff report H3, and I had to go back and reference the actual counsel received and guidance received. And so I needed to clarify if there had been a change in what we had been advised before, or if we were still to act as we were advised via our communications with counsel. And so the clarification that I did receive is, given that we have a statement of withdrawal from Dr. Griffin concerning Joseph Tenbush, staff report H3, it is sufficient for us to allow that statement to be read publicly, which HR department is going to do for us. And then we can proceed with removing it from the agenda because it was a withdrawal from the superintendent. And so something just caught me and I had to process how exactly to ensure that we did this correctly. So at this time, I pass it back over to Mrs. McFall. And I apologize, when you started reading your information, I wasn't here. I just want to thank you for standing in the gap for human resources. I welcome you to the table. I'm extremely proud to see you here, and I don't want to make light of that.
Thank you.
So I'm honored to have you, but you have the floor.
All right. Recommendation withdrawal for Director of Academics, July 13th, 2026, Board of Education. Withdrawal of recommendation for Director of Academics. Dear Board of Education members, this letter serves as formal notice that the recommendation previously advanced in support of Director of Academics, Mr. Joseph Tenbush, for the position of Director of Academics is hereby withdrawn effective immediately. After further review and consideration of relevant information, it has been determined that it is in the best interest of the district to rescind this recommendation at this time. This action is being taken to ensure that all employment recommendations presented for consideration reflect the district's standards, expectations, and decision-making processes. This withdrawal should be understood as superseding any prior communication, memorandum, agenda item, or correspondence indicating support of this recommendation. Accordingly, this matter should be removed from further consideration until the new recommendation is submitted through the appropriate process. Please include this letter in the official record related to this position and the recommendation process. If any additional administrative steps are required to document this withdrawal, those steps should be taken in accordance with the board policy, district procedure, and any other applicable requirements. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, Dr. Simone Griffin, Superintendent, Benton Harbor Area Schools.
Thank you so much. So at this time, given that the withdrawal has been officially read into the record, I would ask, is there a motion to remove staff report H3 from the agenda?
I make a motion to remove staff report H3 from the agenda.
Is there a second or support?
Support.
The motion was made by Vice President Barnes and supported by Trustee Gavin. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, Secretary Triplett.
President Robinson,
And this is essentially an amendment of the agenda to remove the item. Yes, yes.
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, so I look forward to interim superintendent, Mr. Sanders, having an opportunity to proceed with decision making as it relates to this position. We're gonna move it right along. I know I promised you all 7:30. I can guarantee 8 o'clock, depending on how much you all speak in your closing comments. Under old business, as you all are aware, we had a board retreat anticipated for July of 2026, given the resignation of the superintendent, and our focus on getting an interim placed. And that transition needed. It's my recommendation that we have our board retreat in August to allow interim superintendent Sanders to join us. I'm gonna be an excellent team building opportunity with him as well. And so I did want to gauge the board's availability for that retreat. It's gonna probably be quite hefty because I'll try to see if I can squeeze in a partnership agreement training as well, so we can get started on those. So I know that the one of us that is limited the most in availability to be present due to his work schedule is Bradley. He's clarified he's available all throughout the month of August. So does the board have a preference for a particular weekend? And better yet, is there a weekend that absolutely does not work for either of you?
I was gonna say the weekend or the 7th and the 8th, that's blacked out because that's the MASB Summer Institute weekend.
Okay. Okay, so no 7th and 8th. Gavin, I'm sorry. No objections, Secretary Triplett?
Yeah, I was gonna say the 8th and the 15th. That weekend will not be, I won't be able to be available. Vice President or but that weekend, those 2 weekends don't work.
Okay, anyone else have any, so it looks like you're not available the 22nd? Okay, so we're not available the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, so it looks like we have we have the 29th. Does that work for everybody? Okay, so we will have our board retreat on August 29th for certain. And this will give us time to, allow, I don't know if I want to call him principal or superintendent, interim superintendent Sanders to, get in and get acclimated. I would ask that in the meantime, between now and then, that each of you do connect with, interim superintendent Sanders as of the 25th at least, so that we can start getting those relationships built, the one-on-ones and things of that nature. And then we'll come back with a template agenda so that you all can have feedback on what we actually accomplish in that meeting. So that meeting will officially be August 29th. I would say probably 8 or 9. If you guys would prefer a 9, that's fine. We're probably gonna be an 8-hour. Yes, ma'am.
President Robinson, I guess I'm interested in the agenda for the retreat. I've asked if we can include that restorative training from the organization that was doing restorative work at the high school so that we can be in alignment with them. And I'm wondering if that can still be on that agenda.
Yeah, so I know the major key points. We want to set goals for interim superintendent Sanders. Vice President Bradley has sent, I think, 2 different versions of things that you think are priorities. So we'll take a look at those as well. Trustee Bradley has asked that we do a board self-evaluation, which we send out in advance, evaluate ourselves, and then we set goals as a board, which we have not done since 2022. But what I plan to do regarding that training is see if we can get it qualified through the partnership agreement to count for one of those trainings.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I'm sorry, Madam President.
You have the floor.
I was gonna ask, with us being able to, will it qualify under the partnership agreement requirement? And that we cannot lose focus on that particular area. We need to go ahead and knock that out too. As soon as possible, put that schedule together. Hopefully we'll be able to do that at that retreat. So we will not be the reason why goals and what have not been met as it relates to the partnership agreement. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I think that it'll fit because part of part of what we have to focus on is team building and communication and things like that. And so I think that as long as we get the description, I normally present it and tell them how long it is and things of that nature. And it hasn't been complex getting, not necessarily getting approval, but confirming that it will count towards the partnership agreement. Okay, new business.
Okay. Real quick, and I know probably trustee Raquel Martin was gonna touch on it too.
Okay.
We do have the Summer Institute and the, she'll probably touch on more. We got the Summer Institute coming up. I'm in the house and we have the Summer Institute coming up on August 7th, and 8th, and it's gonna be in Kalamazoo. They're gonna, for the 4-day workshop, they're gonna discuss the Governance Core 2.0, and Good to Great. So make sure if you're gonna attend to get a copy of that book. We did have that workshop with Deb Macon, I think, last year. But like I said, the Governance Core 2.0, very good book, very informative, as y'all can see. I've got a lot of information in there. Then the annual leadership conference that's coming up in October. See either Molly or Miss Alicia for more information on how to register.
All right, if there's no other new business, anyone present for, were you gonna say something? Go ahead. Can you put your,
The annual leadership conference is coming up, I believe, October 14th through the 16th. I know it's like about the second week in October. I don't want to give the wrong dates, but that's held in Lansing. And that's a time also that the voting representatives would be there to vote on behalf of our district, which would be Mr. Bradley, and I'm the backup. But you can also take classes. So if we keep with continuous learning, we want our students to do it, we should do it also. We want our teachers to do it. We want our administrators to do it. And I think it's only right that we set an example and we do it too.
And those dates are, excuse me, I'm sorry, those dates are October 15th through the 18th in Lansing at the Lansing Center. The general sessions are going to be Caitlin Hall, Mimi Brown, and the state superintendent will be there with Dan Watuba, the chief executive officer of MASB.
all right, so we'll proceed. Anyone for open public comment? Hearing none, we'll proceed past superintendent announce, we got 11 minutes. You have the floor.
Writing, but I always stand for the kids, and I'm gonna wait till Superintendent Sanders came, but I got a message from athletic director. Our team center is closed because of no water, sanitary purposes, and we got a game coming up. And we invested too much money in there, so I'm hoping with that air conditioning and heating fund that we can kind of get on the team center right away so that can be reopened as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please ensure you fill out a public participation form so they can ensure that they have your comment documented appropriately.
This.
Okay, so we're gonna move, in the absence of Dr. Griffin, we're gonna proceed past her announcements and comments unless she left something with either of you all. Nope, okay. Board member announcements and comments will begin with Trustee Bradley.
I just want to thank everybody who participated in Zoom. I wasn't intending on being here. As some of you all know, I had surgery yesterday, but you know, what they said they saw, they didn't find. Thank God. I do thank Mr. Triplett for his call, and I thank Trustee Raquel Martin for her prayer. She said, "Oh, before you go in, you call. We're gonna pray." And when she saw me walking in, she did a cozy clap out there in the in the parking lot. She was so excited to see me. And but I'm doing well. Not 100%, but I'm here because we've had some people like, "Oh, you don't need to go to the board meeting," but all I was doing was sitting at home, and we need to start pushing that we start reading because on the train ride home, I end up finishing 2 books I was working on. So I think I deserve a personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut for doing that. But I want to thank Dr. Griffin in her absence for her service to our district, and I look forward to the great things we're going to work on with interim superintendent Sanders. And so, you know, I'm glad we got that 12-point $3 million grant. Looking to great things for that. If we write the vision on the wall. And then also you got to think about if we don't have a vision, the people perish. So we want to make sure that we're being a vision-minded board and making sure that we are moving upon what we're built upon and everything. Yes, things may not go the way we wanted sometimes, but we got to celebrate the little wins when we can get them. So I will leave it at that.
All right, up next we have trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes, I do have a flyer from the Berrien Community Foundation for Backpacks for Good, a school readiness event. And it's called a National Night Out. Students who live in the 49022 zip code, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Tuesday, August 4th at the Dwight P. Mitchell City Center Park in downtown Benton Harbor. This event is open to students who live in the 49022 zip code, regardless of the school they attend. They will be giving away backpacks, school supplies, and other things. It's sponsored by Whirlpool and the Berrien Community Organization. So the parents, if you're online and you're here and your children need things for back to school, that's a good place to go and a good time to go to receive those things. I'd also like to thank Dr. Griffin for her service to our district and for Mr. Sanders for stepping up to continue his service to our district. I would like to thank the summer staff. I'd like to thank the teachers, the bus drivers, the custodians, the maintenance people for the work that I have seen them doing this summer. Are we all perfect? No, we are not. But everybody is stepping up to the plate and doing what needs to be done. And I appreciate that. I'd like to thank, I know First Student for transportation, they're in their negotiations or whatever. But I do see our bus drivers who are residents of our community. And I appreciate that they hired the people that actually live in our community to take our students home. So from what I see, I don't know all of it, but from what I've seen, they are people that live in our community. So I appreciate that. And with that being said, I just would like to thank once again the grant for our infrastructure, for our high school and for our middle school. And like I said, keep the elementary in your minds because they also do have needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have Treasurer Gavin.
I want to thank everybody for coming out. It's so good to see Mrs. McFall at that director's table. She was a student of mine, a stellar student, and to see her here, I'm just godly proud of you, doing a great job. I am always grateful to see our Tigers sit at these tables and do a great job. I want to be clear that here congratulating our new superintendent. I'm grateful for Dr. Griffin for the positives that she contributed to the district. Regardless of differences, everybody brings something to the table. And it's important for us to sit in a space of gratitude in spite of differences and just be grateful for the positives as we move forward within this transition. I'm also praying for our district. I'm praying that we look at our budget, look at our finances, and recognize that we are in a position to bring in more dollars to our district. We can do that, and we can do it without cutting positions or giving, one person 2 and 3 and 4 hats. We can do that. In fact, if we do it that way, we're doing it wisely. Anybody who has a full-time position, there's a reason why that's a full-time position. It requires full focus. And when you're running after 2 and 3 different things, something falls in the crack And then people, can call you incompetent or say you don't care. And it's not that you don't care, it's that you're doing too many things, juggling too many things at one time. And so I just want to be clear that that's where I stand on that issue with anybody's job. 2 jobs are for 2 people. I would love for everybody to just have one job and we get an organizational chart that reflects that efficiency and that effectiveness. I'm not a know-it-all, but I did minor in business administration and I did teach business management. And so I understand these things in that way. It's nothing personal. But anyway, I'm excited for the district. I believe that Mr. Sanders is capable. I do appreciate the little bit of time that I was able to work with him and see him. And I would love to see what's possible. And yeah, I'll move forward from there. And I also want to thank the summer school staff and everybody who's joined us on Zoom. You all have a wonderful evening.
Up next, we have Secretary Triplett.
Thank you, Madam President. For the past month, I feel like I've been like in the twilight zone. Sitting here at this table. I want to say congratulations to our director, Brock Carter. I'm so proud of him. I really am. I know when you started 3 years ago and where you are today, that is really an honor. And so Ben Harbor Area Schools is very, very proud to say that we have a chief financial officer in Mrs. Brock Carter. So I want to say congratulations. Also, it's very nice to see Mrs. McFall sitting over there. I think Director Dorothy Smith is doing an amazing job in that division and in that department. I'm so proud of, when I look over to the left, not taking any credit for anything, but it's good to see too, my former varsity cheerleaders sitting at the table in directorship areas. And so also, I'm grateful for the grant for my colleagues, but I do want to say to this community, I've been here for a long time. I've been in education for quite some time now. I have taught family members. I have supervised family members. This is not new to me. Oftentimes people think that you will do what they do. But one thing I do not play with is Ben Harbor Area School. My stripes have never changed. I want to say congratulations to Mr. Sanders, who happens to be my little brother. I am very, very proud of you. And I hope that you get in there and do what I know you can do for the Tiger. Come to me. I don't play about Ben Harbor. And so I've seen you with all of your credentials and what have you. I just want to give this to you if you're listening. 062436. Hold that in your heart. Do what's right. Give us an opportunity to have a chance. Get in there and give it all that you got so that we can stay in our role as board members and be able to trust that we have somebody up in there that's going to do what we have hired them to do and what they said that they were capable of doing. I would like to thank my colleague for the way in which you guys have handled this particular situation. And again, I'm excited about the upcoming school year. And I'll just end mine with Go Tigers. Thank you, Madam President, too. When I saw you walking with that phone, I'm like, okay, she's gonna grind all the way to the end. And when she come back to this table, we will have the correct decision. So thank you, Benton Harbor.
Thank you, Secretary Triplett. Up next, we have Vice President Bowens.
It was March of 2003. I was in Miss Pearson's class. And I told this young lady I liked a girl named Naisha. And ever since then, we've been cool. Jessica, it's good to see you in there. That seat looks good on you. And I'm rooting for you. I want to tell you two things. First, Dr. Griffin, thank you for your service. If you're watching, we thank you for investing in our children, making sure our facilities are White House clean. Also the Miracle Framework. So thank you. I want you guys in the public, if you're watching this, pay attention. It's a Facebook page called Michigan Taxpayer. And they're going to our school buildings. They're going to different things. They were even hating on us getting the grant. And when it's time for millages and stuff to get voted on, what they're doing is building up people to vote no against anything that we come up against. I want you guys to pay attention to that. One thing I would also encourage our board to watch, if you have it, I don't know if it's still on Netflix, it's called Miss Virginia. It's about DC public schools. The issue is very educating. And if you can't watch that, watch the Ron Clark story. And it gives you that refocus on why, at least it gives me refocus on why I'm here. And I think it would inspire you. When the vacancy came for the superintendent, it was three people that came to mind. I prayed, I listened to the chatter, and one of the persons I immediately called, and I said, I don't want to hear anything. I just want to hear it from your mouth. Are you interested? And it was Mr. Sanders, and he said, yes. Mr. Sanders, welcome home. I seen the work that you've done in Delaware. I seen the work that you've done in New Orleans, and I seen the work that you've done at Benton Harbor High School. It will be times in this position that you will feel discouraged, but just know that we are tigers. We are here for you, and your community supports you. I also got to give it to us as a board on how we handled the transition, like nothing happened. We just moved on. I also must apologize from reading some of those comments. You know, I would ask questions and I would not get the full story. And then when things would come to us, it would come different. I hope that as we are in a new season of another new season, that we are focusing on the whole body, mind, soul, and spirit, and making sure our employees are feeling valued and appreciated. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you, Vice President Bowen. So I would like to thank our Board of Education for your flexibility in being available today, because this was not the original day for our meeting. And so I know each of us do have schedules and families and responsibilities outside of the Board of Education, as well as our staff have things that are a priority. So I want to thank everyone first and foremost for your flexibility in being here this evening. I also want to remind you all that we will be here again next week for the work session, so that we can ensure that we continue the business at hand. I also would like to thank Dr. Griffin for coming to Benton Harbor Area Schools, joining us in achieving the things that she was ordained to do for that season, although brief. I do think that there was a purpose that you served in coming here, and so we thank you for the amazing things that you did accomplish while you were here. And we wish you continued grace and benefits in your future endeavors. I would like to also give my sincere thanks to Interim Superintendent Keith Sanders. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time that we have had a superintendent that was a product of Benton Harbor Area Schools in Benton Harbor, Michigan since 2019. When I was appointed in 2020, we had Dr. Townsend. So it is refreshing to be in a space where there is someone that we have grown beside, know, and can trust with our district. I do want to acknowledge Trustee Gavin's expressed concerns. I hear you sincerely, and I do understand what you have voiced. I am trusting in Principal Sanders' thoughts in being able to serve in both capacity as Benton Harbor High School principal and interim superintendent temporarily. And I would ask if he's still listening, that he is forefront focused and honest with both the Board of Education and himself, if he gets to a place in this temporary transition where he needs to lay that principal hat down. So I do thank the board for your support of the request of Mr. Sanders. I honor and give him dignity for being that strong of a tiger to make that pursuit. And we want you to know that the Board of Education supports you if you determine that we need to move in a different direction. Also, thank you to Finance for the amazing work that was done with the $12 million grant. Again, congratulations to Director Brock Carter for your CFO certification. Lastly, I'm proud of you, Ms. McFall. When we got here, she told me I could dismiss her if she didn't need to be here. No, you're gonna sit here through the whole meeting because I'm proud to have you here. So I'm just grateful for everybody. I'm thankful to be a Tiger. I'm blessed and honored to have been your president. And I just thank you all for your support and encouragement. So at this time, I would ask, is there a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Support.
The motion was made by Secretary Triplett and supported by, we'll go with Bradley. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none. Secretary Triplett.
President Robinson,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes, sorry.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
motion carried.
Meeting adjourned as of 8:08 PM.